Today with my friend Old Milwaukee, Old Red, not green, not yellow. We are going to be redoing the wiring on the tractor. So we just got this last week. I haven't had the hood off yet, so I'm going to be taking the hood off just to inspect everything. But I do have an issue where if I'm pulling on the steering wheel just right, the tractor will stall out. It'll just stall out. I'm sure it's a bad ground. These posts are usually there's a ground that's underneath there, and then it's grounded from the backside. What it looks like to me is that somebody did all the wiring and then they painted over it, which is fine, but I could care less about the paint right now. It's not too much of a concern for me. But I am going to go through. You can see how frail some of these wires are. I mean, there's no telling how long they've been here. So they're pretty frail, and it's especially noticeable on the other side here. You can see some of these are just pretty well beat up. A lot of this, all this wiring, it looks like somebody added the 12 volt LEDs and so on, which is fine, but just kind of hacked it all together. So I am going to redo all of the wiring here, all of it. I've actually never opened one of the boxes before. I know some of the wiring is inside this box here, so it'll be a learning experience for me. I'm sure it's just those 2 flathead screwdrivers, maybe even 3, that one in the middle, and then the front will come off. I need to inspect the wire there as well. So yeah, we've got our work cut out for us. I'm gonna pop the hood, make sure everything's fine. I'm still trying to figure out these hydraulics, because this is what they call a Christmas tree, and supposedly it's a two-way valve, but I don't quite understand it yet because I only have power up. I don't have power down. It's gravity down currently. And I know that with the belly pump in this Christmas tree, you can have both ways, but I haven't figured it out yet. So that's also something I need to work on, figuring all that out. Yeah, so that's the job for the next couple of days. I'm going to pull the spark plugs and see how well they look. And I might go with some hotter spark plugs. I'm not real sure. We'll just have to see. But yeah, all the wiring needs to be redone really bad. There's no doubt about that. So that is our project for today, is redoing the wiring to get it all up to snuff. I don't like having a whole bunch of excess wire, really. There's a lot of, I know that you want some slack in there, but there's an awful lot of slack in some of these wires, and I'm just gonna probably do some zip ties and get them all nice and neat and a little bit tighter with just a little slack, but it doesn't need that much. It's not like the gas tank and the engine are moving apart from each other or back and forth or anything else like that. And of course, I'll clean the points at which the ground is connected and things like that. It does start kind of slow. I assume that it's got a 12 volt starter. That's my assumption, only because it's got a 12 volt battery. And then the ignition, I believe, is still 6 volts based on that thing right there. I think that's a step down converter or resistor or whatever you want to call it, that brings this down to 6 volts. So, but it seems to be a 12 volt system, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm still learning. So only time will tell. So I'm not even sure if the temperature gauge is even accurate. I know that the M's don't run hot until you're really, really working them hard, but I haven't seen it go above 100 degrees, so I don't even know if that temperature gauge is accurate. I'm probably going to pull it off the block and inspect it and make sure that it's fine. So we'll see. But anyway, there's my project for the next couple of days. So that's my neighbor's M in the background that you're hearing. He also has an M, so M's are popular around here. I do want to fashion some sort of battery box around this. I don't like the idea of the battery being exposed like that, so I'm probably going to look at that. So we'll have to see. But at any rate, that's our project for today. Let's have some fun.